China has been leading a diplomatic effort in the United Nations to prevent an arms race in outer space. Since the publication of the Vision for 2020, their work has intensified.
My government is taking the lead in this area. As I said, first of all, we're asking a strict observance of existing treaties, and then we are proposing to negotiate. This will be a very difficult, long process, of course, we understand that. But we're proposing to negotiate and conclude a new international legal instrument on the subject of space. Basically, we should ban the weapon systems in space. That's very clear. And also, we need to, on the other hand, promote or facilitate the international cooperation on peaceful use of our space.
In November 1999, the United Nations approved a resolution calling for the active prevention of an arms race in outer space.
If we're asking people who is capable of launching wars in outer space, people will say, only a few countries. And that's why we are saying, China is saying, let's do something now to prevent the weaponization of our space. That will take you take the carpet out of the whole thing.
138 nations voted in favor of the resolution, with 0 against. Along with Israel, the United States abstained from the vote, citing the low priority of the issue. According to John Pike, that may not have been a wise decision.
Today, the United States controls space because we have more satellites, better satellites, and they're hooked together more effectively than everybody else put together. I think the United States should give serious thought to a ban on space weapons because right now we're the ones that have the most to lose if weapons are developed to attack things in space.
Congressman Kucinich agrees that a ban on weapons in space is in the United States' best interest.
It's my belief that the United States must sign on and send a message to the world that space is for peace, not war. We really need to have our country make a statement about that, and unfortunately there are policymakers who are aimed at having the country make a statement totally the opposite.
You know, weapons, we went from covered wagons to Gatling guns and machine guns and planes and bombs and nuclear bombs and space technology. I mean, it's an evolutionary thing, and you've got to be ahead of the curve. The Chinese, the North Koreans, the Libyans, the Iraqis, the Iranians, they know what it's going to cost them to produce these weapons and respond to what we're doing. Now, as long as they're realizing that we're committed to do it, maybe they throw in the towel and we don't have a space race because they know that they're going to lose. They're wasting their money. I mean, you just don't waste your money when you know you can't win.
We're a country that should be about turning swords into plowshares, not in fashioning new, technologically superior swords to hold like swords of Damocles over the populations of the world. We cannot survive as a nation with that approach.
Some of the people never want to move to the next level of weapons. I mean, we'd still be back to using covered wagons to protect ourselves from Indian attacks if some of these people had their way.
Peace and security in space are a universal goal. But in America today, there are two competing visions of how to achieve it. Will our future in space be one of continued international control by force of agreement, or one of American control by force of arms? While the world waits for America to make a clear statement on the issue of space weapons, the race between these two visions continues, along with preparations for a war in outer space.